Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Well, good morning. Here we are once again on another Friday morning, and we're coming to you live directly from New York City because that's where we originate. Hi, everybody. Welcome once again for this Friday, and the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and I'm going to be with you for the next hour, all hour long. We're going to be here indulging in conversation and talking about topics of the day or anything that you want to talk about. And we want to invite all of our family and friends who are here to come in and enjoy, because you already know the protocol if you've been with us for a long time. But for those of you who are brand new, well, let's introduce you to everybody. As you come in, ladies and gentlemen, you can come in and chat live with us. I throw out the topics as the host of the show. I get you started, and then in between it all you have to do is just chime in anytime you like. Use your keyboard on your cell phone. You can use it on your computer or your pad, or your tablet, or any other device that you can communicate with us. And I'll see you right there on the big screen. Of course, we'll get started and we'll acknowledge everything that you have to say. Not only can you enjoy it in conversation, you can create your own conversation as well. If there's something that you want to talk about in particular, of course, we will indulge you and we'll get everything, all of the topics going and talk about everybody. Now, those of you who are joining us for the first time, you ought to know also that we come to you in 3 different areas. So you can pick your poison, whatever it is, either Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. If you're watching us on Facebook, we invite you right now to tag your friends. You can do that. You know how to do that. You have a lot of friends on Facebook. All of your friends on Facebook, get them involved too. It may not be every one of them, but maybe just a few, or maybe even 1 or 2. It doesn't matter how many. It doesn't matter, but the more, the merrier. Get them involved in it. Tag the show to them. Let them know that we're here. When they see that information or that the notification coming from you, they'll know it's from you. And all they have to do is click onto the notification. And guess what? It doesn't take long for them to come right in. It'll bring them right to us. So we appreciate very much if you would do that. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube, well, I always encourage you to go on our YouTube channel and subscribe to us, because the condition of subscribing to the YouTube channel is that you'll get to know whenever we come on the air live. It'll give you notification. Even if we post a video of some sort, it gives you notification. A lot of people forget sometimes when the show comes on. And if you happen to be online and you are a subscriber, and you'll see that information will pop up each time we come on, or each time we post something, it'll come right on, and all you have to do is press the notification and it'll bring you right to us. And for the rest of you who are watching us on Instagram, well, all you have to do is just follow us. Just follow us. That's all you have to do. Just follow us and tell your family and friends about us, get them involved, and everyone else. Good morning, Warren. Thank you so much for joining us once again out of Greensville, North Carolina. And of course, you can talk to Warren. He's here with us too. Later on in the program too, as we always interact with you in conjunction with all of that, we have sports coming up. Sports are coming up in just a few minutes from now. Wait, just a couple of minutes. We're waiting for Brian to arrive, and he has with us the latest developments in today's world of sports. We get together and we link up with him, and you'll get a chance to see him if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube. For those of you who are watching on Instagram, you won't get a chance to see him, but you can hear him. And if you have any sports questions or anything to him, just type it in and we'll see it and we'll acknowledge it as well. So we have all of that. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or any other part of social media or any other broadcast facility. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's lift up our cups, our glasses, enjoy your beverages, whatever they are, to get you going. And excuse me while I shoot up. You can see the frost on it, right? You can see the frost. I can write my name on it. See it right there. Nice and cold, iced coffee. And whatever your beverage is, we hope that you're enjoying it, and I hope you're getting set for the weekend. Here in New York City, ladies and gentlemen, as you already know, and of course, all across the country, we have experienced all of the smoke and dust and soot that came into our area due to the a wildfire that came out of Canada yesterday. And people were coughing and wheezing, and people who have like these problems with maybe asthma or some kind of respiratory illness or something like that, be very careful. Here in New York City, it just cleared up. You know, you could actually see far now. You could see where you're going. You could see the sky, the blue skies, the clouds that come along with it. You can see all of that now. And so, and we don't smell any smoke anymore. So that's good news. But there are certain places around the country that may still experience a little bit of it left. And hopefully, I don't know the status in Canada right now, whether they got that fire under control, because once they get those wildfires and those brush fires, it's hard to control. It's hard to get control of it. But we hope that it's under control right now. It seems to be, because we're not getting any side effects from it now. So we're doing okay here in New York. The sun is coming through. And by the way, those of you who are going to indulge in conversation, and we hope that you do, give us your weather forecast, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't have to be a complete weather forecast, maybe a summary or something on, so we can compare notes and then relay it to people who are out there as well. And those of you who are living in New York or the vicinity of New York City, don't worry about that. I'll have all of that for you. That's coming up right away, right here on the Coffee Hour. So right now, let's get started and get going right now. Let's link up with Charlotte, North Carolina, because Brian is along with us with the latest developments in today's world of sports. He's coming in and he's coming out, but here he is right now. Good morning, Brian. How are you? I don't think he hears me. Are you listening? Are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, let me check my end of it and see if your microphone's on. Okay, his microphone is not on. Okay. Let's see. You have to turn your
Okay, yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Good morning.
I saw that your microphone was off, so I tried to get it on this end, but I see you. So how's it going?
It's better today. We're breathing. There's no smoke. Everything is great, and we're happy.
Well, we can see forever over here. I mean, I walked out of the house this morning to go to the gym. It was just clear as a bell. It was so clear, and it's so clear in New York City that you can actually go back and smell the pot of New York City. I got that. That didn't come from me. You know where I got that from? I was watching here in New York, our local station on Fox 5, Rosanna Scotto.
Yes.
So I stole that from her. Good morning, Rosanna. So how's it going?
Good. I'm doing good. You know, I forgot to tell you this a couple of weeks ago, but you probably know, but John Rowland passed away. I don't know if you knew of that. The former anchor for Fox News in New York.
I know. I remember.
Oh, you didn't know. Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, good morning to you.
Great anchors here in New York when he was here.
Yes, he was. It was a lot of legends that was passed through New York, like Roger Grimsby and Bill Buttell and all those wonderful anchors from ABC and the Fox and NBC and CBS News. You know, they paved the way for a lot of these anchors now here today.
Now, these young anchors, I would hope that they go back in time and study the old timers. Study the old timers. Yes. You know, even though that he's no longer around, and people like Walter Cronkite and Bernard, Bernard Shaw.
Bernard Shaw, yeah.
They should go to YouTube and look at their newscasts and study them, because those are the greats. You can learn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bill Volkov, right? What's his name? From CBS, the one. Wow, his name just escapes me.
Walter Cronkite?
Walter Cronkite, yes.
Yeah. Yep. They were the best anchors.
But we have 69 degrees today. Right now, it's sunny out here. I'm out here on the last day of school. You see, I got my football ready. We're going to throw some footballs to the kids, in a couple of minutes here. And we're here. It's beautiful. beautiful weekend to come. Well, let me get to sports right quick. As you know, we had a couple of postponement games. The Yankees and the Philadelphia Phillies had played, was supposed to play, but then the smoke came, and Detroit Tigers was supposed to play the Phillies. So the Yankees and White Sox and the Phillies and Tigers game was postponed because of the wildfires in Canada. I hope all is clear. We've been upgraded, like I said last night, from orange to a yellow. It might be even better now. Hope the airports are opening up in the East Coast, and we just hoping that everything be better. Now, not only for us here, but for the people in Canada as well. Game 4 of the NBA Championships game resumes tonight. Game 4 at 9 o'clock on ABC between the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets. Quickly, the Cleveland Browns had 2 of their players robbed at gunpoint by 6 masked men. And last weekend, another player had their car stolen. You know, this is the time where they report the camp. And, you know, when you go to these clubs and you come out of a training facility, you got to be careful because you're being watched. So just be careful, not only to the Cleveland Browns, but for all the players, and not only players and our celebrities, but the normal people like us who come out of our homes. We just don't know who's watching us and who has been watching us. So be careful. This day in sports, June 9th, 1914, Pittsburgh Pirates baseball shortstop Hans Wagner is the second player to get 3,000 hits. 1945, Brooklyn Dodger manager Leo DeRocha is arrested for a complaint by a fan that he had slugged him. See, in those days, managers and players could get away with stuff like that. How severe was you get arrested. Today, you go to jail and you get suspended. So didn't say that whether or not Leo DeRocha had to do time. He probably didn't have to do time. It was probably old school stuff where, you know, it wasn't, times like that wasn't as bad as it is today. 1946, New York Giant Mel Ott, first manager to be ejected from both games of a doubleheader. So playing a doubleheader, you get ejected for 2 games, not 1 but 2. He was once a player. Now he became a manager. He got ejected. 1960, ABC and the AFL signed a 5-year contract. 1980, the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York and the San Francisco Giants in Philadelphia played a game that ended at 3:11 in the morning. The game was suspended. Yeah, and they did resume. Don't have the results of who won the game. 1985, Laker great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wins the Finals MVP over the Boston Celtics 4-2. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was 39 years old. He's the oldest player to ever win a Finals MVP at that age. 1990, Eddie Murray ties Mickey Mantle with baseball switch hit home runs in 10 games. That means he hit a home run on both sides of the plate. Did that. Hit one on the right side, hit one from the left side. 2019, former Boston Red Sox David Ortiz was shot while visiting his homeland, Dominican Republic. Birthdays today, 1939, ESPN Dick Vitale, NCAA basketball sportcaster, was born in Passaic, New Jersey. 1951, Dave Parker, the Cobra, born in Grenada, Mississippi. 1964, Wayman Tisdale, an NBA forward, jazz bass, was born in Fort Worth, Texas. 1973, Ted Rushi, NFL linebacker, was born in San Francisco, California. 1980, Udonis Haslem, who is presently playing for the Miami Heat and in the NBA Finals, who's playing his last season. NBA forward, was born in Miami, Florida. Weddings on this day. Mike Tyson, 43, weds Lakeha Spicer, 32, in Las Vegas. And 2009, Elizabeth Watson divorces Major League Baseball home run king Barry Bonds. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is sports. As we creep into a positive, clear weekend here in Charlotte, by way of me going into New York for one day.
Boy, and just good news for you. As I said earlier, when you come in, you can still wear your mask, but it's clear as a bell here today. And no smoke. I didn't smell any smoke or anything. So, act accordingly. Act accordingly. I have another birthday for you, but it has nothing to do with sports. Warren Dansler is out there right now from Greensville, North Carolina. His late brother, Kenny, celebrating today. So just wanted to throw that out there.
I want to say happy birthday to my late cousin, Kenny Dansler. We miss him. I miss him. He's always in our prayers and thoughts. He left us young. He left us young and everything. But we miss him and just miss having him around. And Kenny used to tell a lot of jokes, a lot of jokes. He used to clown on me a lot. Him and his brothers used to call me up on Sundays during the football season and make fun of my Dallas Cowboys, even though I could make fun about their New York Jets as well too. But yes, I miss my cousin, and may he continue to rest in peace. Love you, Kenny.
We'll see what happens with the Jets, because they didn't do very well last time around.
They're going to be good this year.
The only New York team was the Giants. The Giants, they came in, they did very well, along with the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. So, we got three fans and different teams that I mentioned. And the Jets, which is Warren's team, and your team, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm the Minnesota Vikings. Let's see if we can do another replay coming up this season.
Actually, Warren is a New York Giant fan. I found that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
That's a New York Giant for him. Yeah. Damon is the Jet fan. So
Damon and Kenny were Jet fans. Yeah.
We're gonna have to ostracize Damon for a while until he get back up on his feet. I had to tell him about that the last time I spoke to him, but I'm sure he'll come back. We'll see. Yeah. So you're gonna go around and you're gonna throw the football around for a while.
Yeah, play with the kiddies. Today is the last day of school out here, and we're just gonna have fun, play the football. I'm gonna show off my arm and play a little catch and run, and yeah. All
right. Well, you get cracking and have happy trips to New York. We'll be looking.
Okay, take care, everybody. Warren, Pete, you out there. Have a safe weekend, and see you hopefully soon. And I'll see you tomorrow on Saturday.
You got it. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Brian. That's Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. That's his feature every week at this time on the coffee hour. And he brings us the latest developments. Of course, if you have any questions about sports at any time, even though he's not here right now, he's gone because he's got to get back to doing what he's doing. We can always relay your questions to him, and then he'll answer them at another time. And you can, as I said, when he's on live, you could talk to him and ask questions, and he'll be able to answer to them. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for being with us here on the coffee hour. Warren, thank you again for being out there. He's got great sunny skies out there in Greensboro, North Carolina. He's got presently, I would assume it's 63 degrees presently, but it's going to go up to 78, maybe higher, who knows. There you go. And those of you who want to get involved in conversation too, we always welcome you. All you have to do is just do what Warren does. Just use your fingers, just your fingers. It's like playing a piano. Use your keyboard. And type whatever you want to type in. I will see you right there on the big screen. And of course, I will entertain all of your thoughts and your ideas. It's a free forum, a free exchange of ideas and of opinions. And again, give us your weather forecast too. But if you're living in the New York area, don't worry about it. Don't worry about your weather forecast. We'll take care of that for you. Hey, want to keep reminding you that we're in the month of Pride. Now, this is Pride Month. And I just want to say again, God bless all of our friends, our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQ community. We love you. God loves you. And just keep trucking along. Don't listen to anyone. Don't give a damn about anything. Just keep trucking along. And this weekend here in New York City, we've got the Puerto Rican Day Parade. That's coming up too. So there's a lot of festivities going along with Pride Month and the Puerto Rican Day community. That they're coming along, that big parade. That Puerto Rican parade day. I love that. It's colorful. It's colorful. I won't get this chance to see it in person, but I'll try to get a chance to watch it on TV. The crowds are huge out there, and sometimes I'm not in the mood for crowds. Honestly, haven't been to a parade in years, but I know they're going to do well. I'm going to keep focused on that parade when it comes in. So there you go. And again, the fire over in Canada, I hope we're going to keep our prayers and our thoughts open to the people in Canada where they had that big fire. I know if we felt the effects over here, can you imagine how they felt over there? So but right now we're doing good, not bad at all. Okay, let's get going and talk about what's happening in the weather. We're going to give you New York weather right now. It looks good so far. It looks good. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. We have, let's see, we have 65 degrees right now. That's what we have presently. And it's looking good. And we'll see right throughout the weekend. It doesn't look bad for us. And this is only for New York weather. This is my local weather here in New York. This is what we have for you guys. If you're living in New York City and in the area of New York City, this is what you have today. Some clouds and possibly an isolated thunderstorm this afternoon. So be aware of that. We'll have a high 71 degrees and winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain only 30%. So that's not bad. Just, maybe you want to tote that umbrella with you when you go out somewhere, just to have it, just in case. You never know. For tonight, mostly cloudy skies this evening, and it will be becoming partly cloudy after midnight. We'll have a low 75 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. And for Saturday, if you're going out, Saturday is always the day that everybody looks forward to. Saturday, except for a few afternoon clouds, it will be mainly sunny. Isn't that nice? And we'll have a high around 79 degrees. That's close to 80. And winds will be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Saturday night, going out on the town, a few clouds there will develop. We'll have a low 64 degrees. Winds will be light and variable as well. And as we get ready to go back to work, so we recuperate on Sunday. Everybody sits back and relax, and then we recuperate on Sunday, right? So it's going to be sunshine and clouds mixed together, and we'll have a high around 83 degrees. So the temperatures go up. Winds will be south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So that's what we have. And repeating our current temperature here in New York City, we have 65 degrees outside. So it doesn't look bad. And of course, I hope your weather is intact as well. So whatever you want to do, you want to get out and do some outdoor activities. Hopefully the weather will be on your side. Speaking of outdoor activities, just in case you don't want to do any outdoor activities, I didn't mention the fact that I do have movies for all of you who want to get involved and catch up on some movies this weekend. I have my picks of the weeks. That's coming up later on before the show is over. I have all of that for you. And of course, we want to thank all of you again for being with us. And excuse me while I shoot up. When we felt the effect of that wildfire yesterday here in New York, it affected everyone in different ways physically. I know with me, some people said they could actually taste it. They could taste the smoke. And I mentioned it last night on the show, Talk Back Live, that Monday, when I was in my doctor's office, I paid my doctor a visit. And just before I was leaving her office, I noticed that I started sneezing just continuously, sneezing. And I didn't think of anything at the time. Sometimes you just sneeze and it just happens constantly sometimes, and I didn't think of anything at the time. And Tuesday came along, and then I still didn't even know about the fire at that particular time. So I'm not so sure when that fire really occurred, if it occurred Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure when it occurred, because I didn't get it until, and honestly, maybe other people did, but I didn't get it until New York was under this blanket of smoke, and pictures were posted all over here. You couldn't even see the New York City skyline. If you were from distance, if you are over in Jersey and you had a great view of the New York City skyline or the Manhattan Island, and completely, and you see all the great views of Manhattan, right? You didn't see it because it was so condensed with smoke and soot. And it was like an orange color because the sun was mixed along with all of that. So it was orange color. And people were taking photos and posting it on Facebook. And I took a photo, but I didn't catch at that particular time the orange because I must have been late for that because the sun went back in. And so it was just like gray, but you could see the condensed skies and looking up. When you're looking up, you didn't even see a cloud. You didn't even see no blue, no nothing. You couldn't even see it. And even if you were close to some of the skylines, either you didn't see them at all or you could barely see them. That's how thick it was. And at that particular time, the smoke was so bad that even with the windows closed, you could still smell it, you know? And so people are being cautious right now. We hope that you are, especially you guys who suffer with respiratory illnesses, asthma or whatever, you know, be very careful, take it in stride, take a mask along with you just in case, you know, especially if you are suffering with respiratory illness, take a mask with you just in case. And when you get to the point where you say, where it's hard to breathe or anything, put the mask over your face and, you know, block out all of those impurities. But for the rest of you too, do the same thing. Even if you're not suffering with any kind of respiratory illness, take a mask with you just in case, you know. But right now, it doesn't look bad. You could have it in your pocket. It doesn't look bad. You should take a mask with you anyway, because, you know, we're still not over the pandemic yet, believe it or not. We're still not, even though we're back to some kind of normalcy right now, but we're not totally out of the woods with that. So, so that's the story. And you know something, this is the first time in my lifetime that I've witnessed anything like this. I mean, of course, in New York City, every once in a while you have, you know, the index. It's so high, you know, and the breathe. It's hard to breathe, and you have all of this fog and all of this smoke every once in a while, but nothing compared to what we had just yesterday and the day before, especially the day before. The day before was like totally worse. But we're okay, and of course, it's not out of the woods for a lot of people too. I don't know about in Philadelphia. I know they were feeling the effects over there, but the winds are blowing it out. And if you get a little rain, which we're getting a little rain in the forecast today, which is a good thing for us because it'll kind of clear the air a little bit. You wash it away a little bit. So that's pretty good. But that's what happens. That's what happens. Okay, so I gave you my weather forecast, and here's a little note. You already heard about Pope Francis. Pope Francis is back in the hospital. He's going to be in there for several days. He was undergoing surgery on Wednesday, but right now there's no complications. He's looking good right now, but they're going to keep him in the hospital for a while. So let's keep our prayers open for the Pope. Pope Francis back in the hospital, undergo surgery on Wednesday, but it's successful. But just for observation, just keep him there for a couple of days. That's better than being out there and not knowing, you know. And I know he has a long schedule and a jam-packed schedule, but he has to put it on hold until a few days, and it'll be pretty soon too. Brazilian singer Astor Gilberto, who popularized the bossa nova music back in the 1960s, along with the likes of Antonio Carlos Jobim, and Stan Getz. And she was also known for a smash hit, The Girl from Ipanema. Well, she passed away this past Monday at the age of 83 years old. And I loved her music. She was the one that revolutionized that music and brought it to this country. She made it very popular in this country as far as I'm concerned. And because I remember as a kid growing up in the 60s, in my teen years, you know, we always had this peer pressure, and there was only kind of certain kind of music you would listen to. But in solitude, I was just universal when it came to music, and bossa nova was one of them. We had this station back in New York City called WHN, but back then it was one of the stations where they played. Back then they called it beautiful music, or elevator music, or whatever you call it. But now they call it easy listening. And bossa nova was part of that that realm of the easy listening music, and it was so smooth. And the girl from Ipanema was played all the time, and so she's going to be missed. She's going to be missed. And the good thing, Astor Gilberto, I had the pleasure of seeing her. They had a jazz club here in New York. And they had a lot of jazz clubs in New York back in the early days, back in the Village, right? They had the place called Fat Tuesdays. I mean, when I went to see her, and jazz was booming back then. We had all of those clubs, the Village Gate and all of those clubs where they played jazz. And I went to see her one night at Fat Tuesdays. And I was sitting right there, right in front, and enjoying her music. And it was just a pleasure to see. I didn't never get a chance to see her after the show. I didn't get a chance to go backstage after the show to actually meet her in person, but beautiful music. And it's a good thing that she's leaving us this great legacy of the music that she have done in the past. And of course, you know, the late Antonio Carlos Jobim and the late Stan Getz. Stan Getz was a jazz saxophonist, but he played a lot with them on their big hits. And of course, her husband, Joa Gilberto, that was her husband at one point. She collaborated with him on some of the music. And even there's a song that the girl from Ipanema, when she did that with her husband, Joa and Stan Getz together. It's like a 5-minute long piece, The Girl from Ipanema. Love it. Also, Pat Cooper, remember comedian Pat Cooper? They call him the angry stand-up comedian. Now, he wasn't really an angry guy. He wasn't really angry, but that was his shtick on the stage, right? So they call him the angry stand-up comedian. Well, he passed away. And he was famous for ragging on certain, I hate to use that word celebrity, right? People of notoriety. He was famous for ragging on people like those, like Sinatra and people like that. He was famous for doing that. He's also famous for poking fun at Italians because he was an Italian. All right, so he was always doing that, you know, about his neighborhood and all of that. But anyway, he passed away in Las Vegas just the other day, Tuesday, as a matter of fact. He passed away the day after Astor Gilberto. He passed away Tuesday at his home in Las Vegas. He was 93 years old. And I can't remember if I ever met him. I can't remember. I think I might have. I can't remember, though. But fun guy. He was a funny guy. I used to love his performances. Here's another Pat that passed away. Only this time, this is Pat Robertson. Pat Robertson, as you already know, is a longtime TV host, a religious broadcaster, educator, educator and humanitarian. But at the same time, while he's a humanitarian, at the same time, he was famous for blaming gays for 9/11 and blaming blacks for hurricanes. But he's a humanitarian. What the heck? He was a controversial, and he was one of those I guess conservative ministers, you know. Anyway. And by the way, he was a one-time presidential candidate, you know. But anyway, he passed away too at his home in Virginia Beach early Thursday morning, and he was 93 years old. So our prayers go out to all of them and their families. The links and the chain, they break constantly, but we have to live on. We connect whatever links that break, we connect it with new ones and just live on, and we move on. And that's the way the world bounces. That's how we do it. So there you go. You have all of that going on and all of that news going on. Hey, you know something? Summer is on its way. You know, even though the weather may not be blazing hot, like a lot of you are looking forward to, summer is on its way. As a matter of fact, the official day of summer will be Wednesday, June 21st. Wednesday, June 21st, and it'll last till Saturday, September 23rd. That's the span of summer. We're looking forward to that. And those of you who live in areas where you do a lot of outdoor activities, I know here in New York, there's a lot of that going on. We have all of the amusement parks. We have Coney Island, and well, Coney Island is never like it was in the heyday, but it's still there, and people will be visiting that. And people will, again, will be doing a lot of outdoor activities and doing a lot of things. So there you go. We have all of that going on. And again, we want to thank you, by the way, all of you who are joining us right now. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And we're going to be along with you for the entire hour. We're going to be to the top of the hour. We're going to be with you. And we spread a little joy your way, have a little coffee, a little bit of donuts, or whatever it is that you bring to the party. And if you have any questions, please feel free. Feel free and to join us right now in conversation, and you will answer all your questions, and we'll have a lot of fun. And again, if you're going to join in conversation, give us your weather forecast. I already gave you mine, all right, here in New York. And you may be coming from a different part of the world or a different part of the country, and you may want to update us on that. Also, you may want to update us on your situation. How is this whole thing, that wildfire from Canada? How's it affecting you? Are you still being affected by the smoke and all of that? Let us know, and we'll certainly be able to share all of that with you. Well, you know, it's been one of those. It's been one of those weeks. And one of the things is, of course, I don't have to share with you because you already know about it, right? You already know about it. 345/666 Beast Incarnate was indicted once again. He was indicted once again. And right now he is facing 7 charges, including violation of Espionage Act. 345/666 Beast Incarnate. And he's expected to turn himself in. I don't know how he's going to go in. I don't know how it's going to be. We already saw how it went in New York. Florida, it may be different. We don't know if he's going to be dragged in handcuffs. We don't know any of that. And what we also don't know is what these charges are, because that wasn't revealed just yet, unless something happened in between the time I came on the air and right now. I'm not sure. We'll find out later. Maybe we'll know later on. Maybe we may not even know until Tuesday when he turns himself in. He's expected to turn himself in Florida at 3 p.m. And so he's going to have to face that. And the clock is ticking, time is running out, and the walls are closing in. That's the way it is. And when that was released last night, it was we found out about it last night. Brian was out there. He gave me the information last night. I didn't know anything about it. And Brian gave me the breaking news last night, and we talked about it. And then when I got off the air, I had a chance to go and turn on the news. And I'm the kind of person I'd like to turn on the news and listen to everyone, whether you agree with these people or not, whether I agree with them or not. I want to listen to everyone. So I turn on CNN, and I turn on MSNBC and the other news stations, and also turned on Fox. The people from Fox, they just went totally out of their mind. When I turned on Fox, they were totally out of their minds, And I just happened to turn on when Laura Ingraham was on the air. She was totally out of her mind, and the rest of the people, her guests, and everyone, saying, they blamed the President Biden and his cronies. Now understand something. President Biden did not indict 345/666 Beast Incarnate. Do I have to explain that to you? You know who indicted him? He was indicted by a grand jury, not the President of the United States. As a matter of fact, the people in Washington and the White House are not saying anything about it. You know why they're not saying anything about it? Because they're governing. They're governing. They don't have time to talk about it. They're governing. They want to get the country on the road while all of this other chaos is going on. And for those of you who don't want to join the president and trying to make things happen, make things look good for the rest of the country, this is what we get. This is what we get. And so instead of battling with Mickey Mouse and battling with drag queens, instead of doing that, let's do something constructive, get things going. No, but you want to fight with Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse already knocked you out anyway, right? And and I'm talking about DeSantis. What do we call him? DeSantis or DeSantis? What? He doesn't even know how to pronounce his last name. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. What do you want me to call you? Anyway, he's battling with Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse knocked him out. All right. And instead of battling with Mickey Mouse and drag queens, this is what we're up to. I don't know. We're going to get more back. We're going to get back into more of that later. And in case you want to discuss more about that, feel free, and we'll talk more about that. But right now, I've got some. DJ Peter's not here today, so I've got some stuff that I want to relay to you that he normally does. But so let's get started right now. Let's go. Here we are. Stanley Davis Jones. Stanley Davis Jones. Let's check out Stanley Davis Jones. Stanley Davis Jones was an American songwriter and an actor, and primarily he was a writer for Western music. And back then they called it country Western music. Today they just call it country. Well, that back then when he was around, well, he would have been celebrating his birthday, June 5th. June 5th was his birthday. And he passed away December 13th in 1963 at the age of 49 years old. So just say hello to Stan Jones, and keep that music, keep his legacy alive with that music that he plays. Keep that legacy alive. All right. And we move on. And we went from the 5th to June 6th. And we talk about Gary U.S. Bond. Remember Gary U.S. Bond? He's still alive, by the way. Gary U.S. Bond would have been celebrating his birthday on the 6th of June. He's 84 years old, just turned 84 years old. And Gary U.S. Bond was back then in the old 60s when they had what they call rock and roll. And he did the songs like A Quarter to Three and things like I Want to Root for the Yankees and the Bleachers, School Is Out, and then he did another one called School Is In, all of that kind of, and he's still around and he's still, but anyway, he would have been celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday to Gary U.S. Bond. I don't know why the U.S., I have to research that. Okay, Drunky Dean would have been celebrating his birthday. You know who Drunky Dean is, Dean Martin. Well, that was his nickname. Dean Martin would have been on the 7th of June, would have been 78 years old. Well, he actually died at the age of 78 years old, but he was born in 1917. And it would have been his birthday. And Dean Martin, of course, you already know him. I don't have to explain to you who he really is. Dean Martin, everybody loves someone. Everybody loves somebody sometimes. He was famous for that one. A member of the Rat Pack, along with Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and of course Joey Bishop. Dean Martin, Dino. We call him Dino. Dean Martin. And so we want to wish Dean Martin a happy birthday in the sky. Dean Martin. When the moon hits your eyes like a bigger pizza pie, that's amore. That's amore. Okay, speaking of the Rat Pack clans, Nancy Sinatra celebrated a birthday yesterday. So she celebrates her birthday the day after Dean Martin. Nancy Sinatra, these boots are made for walking. And that's just what they'll do. That was a big hit for her, a great chime for her. And Nancy Sinatra, who was also the daughter of Frank Sinatra, there she goes. She would have been celebrating her birthday. And let's see how old Nancy Sinatra is. She's 83 years old. 83 years old. She was married to actor Tommy Sands at one particular point, and she's still around. And I don't know if she does a lot of performances. If she does very little of it. But she keeps the legacy alive of her dad. She keeps that going for herself. Nancy Sinatra, happy birthday to you. Your happy 83rd birthday to you. On June 9th, Cole Porter. Now, all of this is great because Cole Porter was one of the greatest songwriters back then. So he would have been celebrating his birthday on the 9th, which is today. He would have been celebrating his birthday. And Cole Porter was, as I said, Cole Porter was a songwriter, composer, and wrote a lot of songs. Wrote for, and everyone sung this song. All of the great American music, they call it the American Songbook, that kind of music. Tony Bennett, Carmen McRae, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, all of those people recorded his songs. So happy birthday to Cole Porter, one of the greatest. He one of the goats of music. And so there you go. And we thank DJ Pete for all of that information. DJ Pete, by the way, he has a radio show that you could check out. And his radio show, you can catch him on www.radioairwave.co.uk. And you can catch him there Thursdays between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Also can catch him at his hometown station in Portland, Maine, WMPG. And that's in Portland, Maine. And if you can't catch it, if you're not in Portland, Maine, that doesn't mean you can't listen to them because they have a website. Most radio stations do these days. If you can't catch them locally, you can catch them anywhere you go. Just like you catch the show all around the world, you can catch his radio show. And that's on www.wmpg.org. And you can catch him every Thursday, every other Tuesday between 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. and all times, Eastern time zone, US and Canada. Okay, birthdays for today. We have birthdays today. We're going to talk about those celebrating birthdays today. Here we go. Actress Natalie Portman is celebrating her 42nd birthday. I remember when she was a child. And she's celebrating her 42nd birthday today, actress Natalie Portman. Actor Johnny Depp is 60 years old today. Actor Michael J. Fox is 62. The rest of these people I'm about to talk about, they're no longer with us. But singer Jackie Wilson, my idol, my singing idol back in the days. Jackie Wilson, Lonely Teardrops, and To Be Loved, and all of those great Jackie Wilson songs on the Brunswick label he recorded. And Jackie Wilson would have been 89 years old today. Jackie Wilson, Berry Gordy wanted to sign him up to Motown. A lot of people didn't know that. Berry Gordy wanted to snatch him from Brunswick, but he just stayed at Brunswick. But his record, Repeat, was one of the songs that helped Berry Gordy's empire. Hitsville, USA, then becoming Motown, and launched it. That money that came in from Repeat helped launch Motown, right? Okay, and Johnny Ace, the late Johnny Ace. A lot of you kids wouldn't remember this man. Johnny Ace did that Pledging My Love and a lot of other great R&B songs. He would have been 94 years old today. Johnny Ace died Christmas Day, playing Russian roulette. Christmas Day, right backstage in Houston, Texas. He was doing a show in Houston, Texas, and he was playing Russian roulette, and he shot himself. So Johnny Ace. Also, comedian Jackie Mason. I talked about possibly meeting Pat Cooper. I don't know, but I did meet Jackie Mason, the late Jackie Mason, comedian Jackie Mason. He would have been 95 years old today. Also, remember Les Paul? Les Paul. And back in the 50s, he had a show called Les Paul and Mary Ford. They collaborated together. That was his wife, and they sung, and he was supposed to be allegedly the creator of the electric guitar, allegedly. I could debate that, but we'll just hold on to that thought. He would have been 108 years old, and what a great guy he was. I met him. I had a pleasure of meeting him. What a humble guy, nice guy. Les Paul. And also Robert Cummings. You can call him Bob Cummings. He was an actor, a comedian, and a lot of you may not remember him. Back in the 50s, he had a show called Love That Bob, and then the Bob Hope. And he used to, in the beginning of his sitcom, he used to have this camera, the introduction of the sitcom, hold the camera up. He used to always say, "Hold on, I think you're gonna like this picture," and he snaps it. Bob Cummings, and also he played on a couple of Twilight Zone episodes too, and he would have been 113 years old. Robert Cummings, Bob Cummings, all right, and also Ambi Davis, who played Alice on the Brady Bunch, right? She played with Bob Cummings back in the early 50s on Love That Bob, okay? And so there you go. I have a lot of legends for you, okay? And so those are the birthdays of today. And of course, if you're celebrating a birthday, Kenny Dantzler, happy birthday in heaven. And those of you, the rest of you who are celebrating birthdays, happy birthday to you. And if you are celebrating birthdays at any time soon, and of course you would like to get in touch with us, and we can wish you a happy birthday on the air. You know how you can do that? You can get in touch with us. I have two options for you. You can get in touch with us two ways. I have an email address and a telephone number. Okay, now let me give you the email address first. The email address is frankallanprod@aol.com. The last name, Allan, is A-L-L-A-N. Prod is P-R-O-D. That's short for productions. frankallanprod@aol.com. That's frankallanprod@aol.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. You can call or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. And of course, if there's something that you want to talk about or didn't want to talk about live and talk to us, and you wanted to talk about that, you can get in contact with us. If you want to know more about the show, or you have ideas about the show, if there's certain guests that you want to hear on the show, or you want to critique the show, anything you want, just be nice about it. That's all I'm asking. You can call us. And again, if you have a birthday coming up, give us notice in advance. Well, we can get it on for you. We'll wish you a happy birthday. Maybe you have sons and daughters that you want to wish a happy birthday to. You could do it that way, or come on live and we can wish you a happy birthday. So that email address again is frankallanprod@aol.com. That's frankallanprod@aol.com. Again, that telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Excuse me while I shoot up. It's the coffee hour, of course. Oh boy. So the weekend is coming up. What are you going to do for the weekend? You're going to sit back, relax. You're going to watch old movies. We've got some of those I want to tell you about just a few minutes. But before we do that, I just want to, again, elaborate on this. You people who haven't heard the news already, 345/666 Beeston Carnan, once again, is indicted, and he's expected to appear in court in Florida on Tuesday at 3 p.m. And I got to tell you, people are going to be all over the place. You're going to have news media all over the place. People will be watching. I don't know if he's going to call all of his cronies to say, meet them out there and riot and do whatever. We're not encouraging that at all. We hope that's not the case. It didn't happen in New York. We knew it wasn't going to happen in New York because they don't take that kind of stuff in New York. But Florida, we'll see what happens in Florida when he goes there. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it will be televised. It probably wouldn't be televised, but of course, we'll get maybe still shots. You'll get a chance to see him in still shots at his worst, because you already saw the still shots when he was in New York. I don't think they'll let any video cameras in to do anything like that. They're not going to let that happen, but I'm pretty sure they'll allow cameras taking still shots. And so that's going to happen on Tuesday. And no matter how you think about this, the way I see it, that we already knew it was coming. And quite frankly, he had it coming. And this is not the end of it, because there are more. There are more things coming. And so, you know, I don't care. Let's just like it is, all right? The news meter, they can only say but so many things on the air because they have these clauses in their contracts, right? They have these clauses in their contracts and they can't say but so much. I don't have a clause in my contract here, all right? But so the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is this man is going to wind up in an orange jumpsuit, which is going to be perfect for him because it's going to match his complexion. And the people at Fox News, are up in arms about this. I remember I heard Laura Ingraham say, this has got to stop. We've got to stop this right away. We can't let this happen. Well, how are you going to stop it? You know, the word crime, when you commit a crime, that makes you a criminal, right? When you commit a crime, that makes you a criminal. They don't think he's a criminal. He committed a crime. He is a criminal. That is why he is where he is today. And you know, we're just going to have to sit back, relax. People are going to be sitting back, relaxing, eating popcorn, and just looking at this as a show, because this whole thing was a show from the beginning anyway. It's just taking so long to do a lot of things. So again, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how you look at it, let's face reality. This is going to happen. It's going to happen. All right. And as far as DeSantis, however he pronounces his name, you're not going to be president. He says he's going to be president for 2 terms. You're not going to be president at all. And you've got other people. He just threw his hat in the ring. Also, Mike Pence threw his hat in the ring. You're not going to be president either. All right. And if truth be told, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll explain why I say this. I don't think any Republican is going to be president anytime soon. The only time that's going to happen, they're going to have to dump the garbage. And you know what I mean by that. They're going to have to put that away and become the party of Republicans and not party of MAGA. Go back to being the party of Republicans, because back then Republicans were Republicans and Democrats were Democrats. And hey, Democrats, you got to get your act together too. You know, you're not out of the woods. You got to get your act together too. And the reason why I say that it's not going to happen, because while Republicans are fighting Democrats, Republicans are fighting Republicans too. They're like sharks. They're eating their own guts, you know. So, and as a team, in order to win a game, you have to be on one accord. And the Republicans are not on one accord. And so therefore, that's not going to happen. And when that comes to pass next year, in 2024, you remember what I just told you. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking forward, and by the way, if you want to rebuttal that, I'm open to it. We have movies for this weekend and for the week. And those of you who are going to spend your weekend doing a lot of things, maybe watching a good movie, maybe one of the things that you want to do. So I have movies that I want to add to your bucket list of movies on what to watch. So I do this each week. My own picks. These are my picks from Turner Classic Movies that are coming on. And let's start with 1967. Here's another one. I love this one, Valley of the Dolls. And I love this one. Not that I'm so partial to Patty Duke, but it's a great movie. It's a great movie. Dionne Warwick did the soundtrack to it. Barbara Perkins, Patty Duke, and Sharon Tate are in this movie, and that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch it out Friday. That's tonight at 9:45 p.m. I am going to watch it, and you can check it out then. Then you have A Hard Day's Night, starring the Beatles from 1964, and that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that Sunday overnight between Saturday morning and Saturday night and Sunday morning, and that's at 2:30 a.m. Eastern. And that's A Hard Day's Night. And finally, if you like the musicals, here's a nice musical. We've seen this before, and you can watch it again. It's a nice musical called Flower Drum Song, starring Nancy Kwan back in 1961. A nice musical, and I love it. And you can catch that on Turner Classic Movie as well, but you can catch that Sunday afternoon at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And those of you who want to go to Turner Classic Movies and go to the program guide, You could find a list of other things that might be there that I didn't mention. The only thing is that I have picked these for the weekend. And so there you go. There you go. So it's time for me to go. Thank you, Warren, for that picture. I'm going to check it out in just a few minutes. He sent me some pictures. I'm going to check that out in just a few minutes. Thank you so much. I'm going to go, but I'll be back here on Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports. And we'll have a lot of fun and conversation. Other than that, meet me back here next Friday morning at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, I'm sorry, that's 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the coffee hour. Brian Camp will be here as well, and you will be here, hopefully, and we'll catch you back here then. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great weekend and a great day, and stay safe, stay warm. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host, Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer, Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.